Here we have a 6.5-minute sizzle reel, and we just want to use the beginning as a teaser. So we're going to find our out point. Pardon my editing skills, but I am a sound designer after all. So let me just get rid of this and zoom in. Pardon my zooming skills. All right, so I have splits from the sound designer. I have my basic interview sound on tape, SOT I call it. I have the NAT sound, which is all the B-roll sound on tape. That's all part of SOT. I have effects that were added, and then music. We're going to do our own music because, of course, the original music didn't work. This really is the original music. It just happens to be a track that's super loud. So I'm going to just play it and see what we have. So I really like it with that loud music, but obviously it's too loud. We don't know how much too loud because all we have are the peak program meters. But even with the PPM, you can see all right, the two biggest problems we have are, number one, overall we're too loud. Maybe three biggest problems. Number two, the music is too loud. And number three, we can't hear the dialogue, any of these sound bites. So let's work on overall levels first. The very first thing I need to do is I need to set up better metering than this. Okay, the peak program meter is not telling me enough information. So I want to go to my track mixer, which is Shift 6. Audio track mixer. All right, so this shows me SOT, NAT, effects, music. I labeled them. You can just click on it and label them right here. It's very convenient. Or you can do it down here. So I'm going to open this up. This little triangle opens up my inserts. These are all my effects that I can add. Real-time effects that play throughout. They are on the track, not attached to the clips that are on the track. So this is my master right here. And I'm going to put right here at the end, Analyzer. Under the Analyzer category, I'm going to go Waves, DeRose Stereo. So I double click my DeRose meter. There's this little button that says Targeted. If I click that, that means it can stay up while I open up other effects. That's really useful for what I need to show here. So I'm going to just put it there. And I'm also going to open up the Loudness Radar, which is under Special. It's called Loudness Radar. And of course I double click that also. And I'm going to also put that in Targeted. And I'm going to just watch a little bit. All right, this is telling me I got a peak problem. This is telling me I got a peak problem. This is telling me I've got a peak problem. So that's one problem. We can deal with that. I still have a bad mix because you can't hear any of this. The music is too loud. So we'll deal with that in a second also. Just getting an idea of where we are. Our LKFS is minus 11.6, which is about what I would guess by looking at this. This thing's in that 10 to 12 range for average level. This doesn't tell you anything about it. Now before I move on to controlling my levels, I want to bring up one more meter. This is from Waves. This is called the Waves Loudness Meter. I'm going to go, instead of my target being minus 24, I'm going to say minus 18 for web. I'll keep my true peak at minus 2. And let's just see how it goes. We'll play back just this loud section and just kind of see where we're landing.
Like a high school with street code. It is so delicious. Like you just put it on this bread
These haters, they're crazy. Before I go too much further, let's go ahead and just control these peaks. And I'm going to put a limiter in here. So let's use the one that comes, let's use this multiband compressor, which has a limiter. And I have to double click it, as we always do. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bypass the 4 bands of compression. So we're not even going to look at those. We're just going to look at this limiter. Now this is the broadcast preset, which comes up as a pretty nice little default, not for us because our levels are way too hot and this thing will squash it, but pretty nice overall except for this limiter. The limiter is coming up, reset this, where did that go away? This limiter comes up with a threshold of -10 and a margin of 0.1. What that's saying is take my content that's currently at -10, push it up to 0.1, and lop off the top. This is going to be just terrible for what we're trying to do. And I can show you that, how bad that is on the meters.
Like a high school with street code. It is so
Totally pushed,
Like you just put it on this bread
So we don't want to do that. What I'm going to shoot for is basically just a normal limiter at about -3, just to be safe. Our true peaks we want to keep under -2, but let's go -3. We'll play that same section again.
Like a high school with street code. It is so delicious. Like you just put it on this bread
Okay, so it did a nice job of controlling our peaks. Notice that -3.0 in true peak was not exactly -3, but it was close enough since our limit that we don't want to go beyond is -2. All right, the last thing I'm going to do before I start actually setting levels and mixing this thing is I'm going to take my durometer and set the reference to -18. All that does is it moves this little red reference target up. It doesn't actually change the way that it displays anything. It just shows, it changes which ones are red. So now the 17, 18, and 19 are going to be red, whereas on the 20 it was the 19, 20, and 21. So this is kind of giving us our little target at -18 because I'm mixing for web. Now, if I were mixing this for broadcast, I'd be setting everything to -24. The target on my loudness meter would be 24, and I would just leave this at 20 because there is no 24 on the Duro meter, and I would just mix conservatively on that. All right, so I need to lower my music in particular. The music is just a little too much, but if I lower it too far, then of course it'll be weak, and so I want to keep it strong, but I just need to bring it down a little bit. There are a few different ways to do it. In Premiere there are actually 3 different ways, but in general, most NLEs will have 2 different ways. One is at the clip level and one is at the track level. It's not a bad idea to take your music track down about 6 dB anyway, because if you're taking music, whether it's library music or whatever music was produced, you know, at CD levels, it's going to be way too loud for almost any application anyway. So let's just take our music track down about 6. So let's go 6.2. We'll just leave it there. And I'm going to just play this from the beginning. I'm going to reset this, reset that. This reset is actually supposed to reset these numbers, but they will go away when I start over. So then I come here.
Georgia. The second you see a hint of smoke, see that? There's a make 130,000 gallons of ice cream here and sell it to retailers and chefs all over. I'm gonna splash it with some more rum. We be a very demanding customer, so expect the unexpected, demand the unusual. They want it now.
We make an ice cream with sweet corn, and it is so delicious. It's like you can just put it on a piece of bread and salad.
This is not your typical ice cream.
All right, so if I want to consider my spec to be minus 18 plus or minus 2, which typically you'll have a plus or minus 2 on whatever spec it is that you're doing. So if your target is minus 24, then anything from minus 22 to 26 would be acceptable. This 16.5 certainly falls within that range. I did have some momentary short-term LKFS that went beyond my range that I wanted to. And it was during this section here, which, as you can see from the waveform, these sound bites are a little bit loud. So let's just go ahead and separate this. And then I'm going to just take this clip down right there. So let's pretend this is a separate region. We're going to just pull it down like that. I'm going to reset this, and I'm just going to run it through here. Now notice last time when we ran it through here, this one started getting all red and flashy, and this went way up to here instead of hanging out down there. Let's just run it through again.
Demand the unusual. They want it now.
We make an ice cream with sweet corn, and it is so delicious. It's like you can just put it on a piece of bread and salad.
This is not your typical ice cream.
All right, not bad. Here, we'll pull it down just a little bit more. So around 4.5.
Expected, demand the unusual. They want it now.
We make an ice cream with sweet corn, and it is so delicious. It's like you can just put it on a piece of bread and salad.
All right, it's still a little bit hot, but you know what? I think we can control that with some compression. So overall, our level is pretty good. I'd like to get the dialogue to come up over top of the music a little bit more, and then I'd also like it all just to punch up just a little bit more without increasing our overall level. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to say, okay, in the music, what if, let's back this up and just listen to this section before all those sound bites come in.
Hi, I'm Keith Schroeder. I'm the second owner of High Road Ice Cream here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. I need Keith Schroeder to come in a little bit loud.
Hi, I'm Keith Schroeder. I'm the second owner of High Road Ice Cream here.
So what if I just take this whole section and pull it up just a little bit? Now these, what I'm doing here at the clip level is the early stage. So anything I do here happens before any plugins that I put up here as far as the signal chain goes. So if I add a compressor up there, then by raising and lowering these pre-compressor, that means they're going to hit that compressor at the levels that I've set.
Hi, I'm Keith Schroeder. I'm the second owner of High Road Ice Cream here in Atlanta, Georgia. The second you see.
All right, let's just add a compressor now. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to do dynamics waves. I'm going to do the R compressor. And I'm going to do a fast release time. I'm going to pull the threshold down, and I'm going to just kind of watch it work a little bit.
Hi, I'm Keith Schroeder. I'm the second owner of High Road Ice Cream here in Atlanta, Georgia. The second you see a hint of smoke, see that? They make over 130,000 gallons of ice cream a year and sell it to retailers and chefs all over the world.
So what I'm doing is I'm adjusting the threshold so that the compressor happens most of the time while someone's talking. Their quietest syllables might not get any gain reduction at all, and their loudest syllables should get quite a bit being maybe 6. So let me come back to here and just...
Hi, I'm Keith Schroeder. I'm the second owner of High Road Ice Cream here in Atlanta, Georgia. The second you see a hint of smoke, see that? They make over 130,000 gallons of ice cream a year and sell it to retailers and chefs all over the world. I'm going to splash it with some more rum.
Okay, so now we've got a good bit of gain reduction. We've hit as much as 7 on that. I'm going to probably bring the whole thing up about 3. And let's see how that goes. Still watching
Hi,
the
I'm Pete
news.
Schroeder. I'm the chef and owner of High Road Ice Cream here in Atlanta, Georgia. The second you see a hint of smoke, see that? We make over 130,000 gallons of ice cream a year, and we sell it to retailers and chefs all over the globe. I'm gonna splash it with some more rum. We have
Alright,
very
now,
demanding customers.
Obviously, we're going to want the music to come back down some more as soon as they start talking. So here, I might just go right there and zoom in a little bit.
Hi, I'm Pete Schroeder.
All right, and I'm going to put a keyframe in here and another keyframe right here, and I'm just going to kind of drop this down about there. 4. See how that goes.
Hi, I'm Pete Schroeder. I'm the chef and owner of High Road Ice Cream here in Atlanta, Georgia. The second you see a hint of smoke, see that? We make over 130,000 gallons of ice cream a year, and we sell it to retailers and chefs all over the globe. I'm gonna splash it with some more rum. We have very demanding customers who expect the unexpected, demand the unusual, and they want it now.
We make an ice cream with sweet corn, and it is so delicious. It's like you can just put it on this bread and salad.
This is not your typical ice cream.
And now that the music's come down, we hear that thump at the end a little better.
Not your typical ice cream.
That's kind of nice. Okay, all of these things are coming through a little more clearly because the music has come down. This isn't supposed to be a full mixing tutorial, but at least, setting levels is mixing, so, we're kind of on our way. I do want some compression on my master, and since I have this multiband compressor already there, I'm going to go ahead and start using it just a little bit. And what I'll do is, I'm going to back up to right before they start talking again. I'm going to turn these back on and just see how much craziness is going on. Now there's gain reduction right here that we're going to see for each band, and we don't want to see 6 to 9 dB of gain reduction because that's too much. Let's just see. Okay, so yes, that's kind of the range that we're in.
Hi, I'm Pete Schroeder. I'm the chef and owner of High Road Ice Cream here in Atlanta, Georgia.
So, since our program material is pretty hot, these thresholds are quite low. This is minus 24, minus 17. I'm going to pull them all up a little bit. What happens if I say link band controls and I pull this up? Yeah, that's nice. That kind of pulls them all up, and then I can unlink them. And let's see where that puts us.
Hi, I'm Pete Schroeder. I'm the chef and owner of High Road Ice Cream here in Atlanta, Georgia. The second you see a hint of smoke, see that? We make over 130,000 gallons of ice cream a year, and we sell it to retailers and chefs all over the globe. I'm gonna splash it with some more rum. We have very demanding customers
Watching our
who
levels,
expect
we
the
are right where we
unexpected,
want to be.
demand the unusual, and they want it now.
So we can push just a couple of things a little bit more. We can push the dialogue just a little bit more. We're also going to just kind of scoop out a little bit of the music with an EQ. I'm going to use the REQ, part of the same bundle as the R compressor, and we're going to take the music. In fact, we're going to solo the music. We're going to just all that guitar right there is in the same range as our voice. We're just going to pull it down a little bit.
Sell it to retailers and chefs all over the globe. I'm gonna splash it with some more rum. We have very demanding customers who expect the unexpected,
And you can do
demand.
the opposite here. EQ waves, REQ6. So the same frequencies that we took out, we're just going to push in a little bit. Just a little.
Hi, I'm Pete Schroeder. I'm the chef and owner of High Road Ice Cream here in Atlanta, Georgia. The second you see a hint of smoke, see that? We make over 130,000 gallons of ice cream a year, and we sell it to retailers and chefs all over the globe. I'm gonna splash it with some more rum. We have very demanding customers who expect the unexpected, demand the unusual, and they want it now.
We make an ice cream with sweet corn, and it is so delicious. It's like you can just put it on a piece of bread and sauce.
This is not your typical ice cream.
Okay, I'm going to push the voice just a little bit more. 4. And overall, we've got good levels. We're landing right at 18. If I hit reset on this and reset on that.
Hi, I'm Keith Schroeder. I'm the chef and owner of High Road Ice Cream here in Atlanta, Georgia. The second you see a hint of smoke, see that? We make over 130,000 gallons of ice cream a year, and we sell it to retailers and chefs all over the globe. I'm gonna splash it with some more rum. We have very demanding customers who expect the unexpected, demand the unusual, and they want it now.
We make an ice cream with sweet corn, and it is so delicious. It's like you can just put it on a piece of bread and sauce.
This is not your typical ice cream.
Wow, very nice. We are spot on. We can actually go a little bit louder with these. We still have headroom here. It's telling us that our output is -6 at the top, so we could go as much as 10 on this, and that would be okay. We're not obviously going to do that, but let's go 2 dB more for our dialogue, all of our sound bites. And let's kind of scroll back here and see what some of this sounds like on these gnat sounds.
Smoke, see that? We make over 130,000 gallons of ice cream a year, and we sell it to retailers and chefs all over the globe. I'm gonna splash it with some more rum. We have very demanding customers who expect the unexpected, demand the unusual, and they want it now.
We make an ice cream with sweet corn, and it is so delicious. It's like you can just put it on a piece of bread and sauce.
This is not your typical ice cream.
And we finished up at 18.0. I think that's great. Those are good levels. So we just finished mixing this for web, and then we decided, well, let's save a broadcast version of it. So we can just export, you say format, iZotope RX loudness control. The preset we want to use is ATSC A85, and that sets us to -24 and -2 true peak. We're not going to hit -2 true peak, but that's okay. It can be lower than that. That's absolutely fine. Let's go ahead and export this. And our program is about a minute long, and as you can see, the export is going considerably faster than real time. So now we're going to duplicate our sequence. I'm going to call it, instead of copy, I'll call it 24, because it's -24 LKFS, at least that's the idea. And I'll open that up. Okay, so this is what we're on. I'm going to delete all my audio, and I'm going to import into this folder my new Southern Scoops Open that I just created. Okay, now if I just take it and I drop it down onto a track, that can be a little bit dangerous, and I'll show you why. As we start to play this, those aren't the levels I expect. Well, the reason they're not is because that track has this compressor on it adding 6 dB. So it's adding gain reduction and makeup gain of 6 dB. That's not what we want. We don't want this mix on that track. So let's get rid of these tracks. Delete tracks. Delete all empty tracks. Let's delete this SOT track also. Oh, I guess I don't get rid of all of them. Let's just drag this down to a new track. Creates a new track. Now we might be able to delete that track. Okay, so Now we're on a new track. Let's reset this, reset that. These numbers look a little better already.
Hi, I'm Keith Schroeder. I'm the chef and owner of High Road Ice Cream here in Atlanta, Georgia. The second you see a hint of smoke, see that? We make over 130,000 gallons of ice cream a year, and we sell it to retailers and chefs all over the globe. I'm gonna splash it with some more rum. We have very demanding customers who expect the unexpected, demand the unusual, and they want it now.
We make an ice cream with sweet corn, and it is so delicious. It's like you can just put it on a piece of bread and something.
This is not your typical ice cream.
Wow, that's a pretty good mix.